Have you ever been staring at the Roblox front page, wondering what to play, before stumbling upon a fairly popular game by the name of Forsaken? Well, probably not, but if you have, you must likely quickly realize that it has an extremely steep learning curve. No worries, this video is here to teach you the basics that every Forsaken player needs to know. But first, what even is Forsaken?
Forsaken is an 8 versus 1 asymmetrical horror game, with up to 8 survivors facing a singular killer in a lobby. This genre of games includes popular titles such as Dead by Daylight and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, albeit with larger differences to the core gameplay loop. However, as the state of standalone ASIMs begins to wane, with Texas Chainsaw Massacre no longer receiving updates and Dead by Daylight having its entire active player base consisting of toxic tryhards with thousands of hours on the game, the genre has been thriving on Roblox. This follows the release of a few popular games such as Flee the Facility, Die of Death, and even You vs. Homer, an entire game based on being Bart Simpson and hiding from your father who is going on a terrible rampage trying to eat you. As a survivor, your job is to run down the timer and help out your teammates so that no one dies. As a killer, your job is to eliminate all survivors before the timer runs out. The game starts with 4 minutes on the clock, adding around half a minute when a survivor is killed. To counteract this, the survivors are able to fix up to 5 generators, each decreasing the timer by 14 seconds when fully completed. As a survivor, taking on the killer is a team effort. But how do you put in that effort? Well, it depends from survivor character to survivor character, but in general, all have similar objectives in that you want to run down the timer via objectives and prevent your fellow survivors from being slain by the killer. Simply waiting around in the corner is a surefire way to let your teammates die. Back to the 5 generators, each requires 4 flow-free puzzles. Up to 3 survivors can contribute to a generator at a time. Working on the generator leaves you vulnerable to the killer as it renders you unable to perform any other actions, so keep an eye out. The biggest thing to consider all throughout the round are 2 numerical values, your health and your stamina. Letting your stamina hit 0 makes it take an additional 2 seconds before it begins to recharge. To signify your stamina hitting 0, the game turns the icon red and plays a noise adjacent to that of the low HP noise in Pokemon. In short, do generators, keep your stamina above 0, help your teammates, and try not to corner yourself or run into dead ends. Killers and survivors also consume and regain stamina at the same rates, those being 10 per second and 20 per second respectively. All killers have an extra 10 max stamina just as a small boost. Another important thing to know about are terror radii, the music that plays as the killer grows near. There are 4 layers to the radius. This signifies how close the killer is to you. The final layer, which plays when the killer is closest to you, is called the chase portion, and persists until you exit the radius completely. This allows you to know when the killer is approaching with audio alone. When there is only 1 survivor left, the game enters Last Man Standing. The timer is set to 1 minute and 13 seconds, and both parties gain the ability to see each other through walls for a short amount of time. Special music plays globally as it signifies the intense face-off. Some survivor characters and skins have special last man standings when matched with their corresponding killers, which triggers different music to play and a slightly longer timer. Starting out as a new player, you will have 3 different survivors in your inventory. These 3 represent the 3 classes. The 3 characters are Shedletsky, representing Sentinels, Elliot, the supports, and Noob, the survivalists. Shedletsky is the most simple of the bunch, which is why you start with him. His first ability, Slash, is an ordinary sword swing with a cooldown of 40 seconds. You can't move during this action, which is why it is easy to dodge if the killer spots you in the windup. The best way to guarantee a hit is to hide behind corners or swing while the killer is committed to striking you. Once it hits the killer, it stuns them for 3 seconds. Missing leaves you extremely vulnerable to being punished. Shedletsky's second ability is Fried Chicken. You also cannot move during this. Shedletsky simply whips out a chicken leg and eats it, restoring 40 HP over the course of 10 seconds. It has a cooldown of 70 seconds and can only be used twice per game, so use it only in emergencies. And for the love of God, do not eat the chicken directly in front of the killer. That also applies if you yourself had stunned the killer with your slash ability, as it does not leave you enough time to heal yourself. On the support side of the starter characters is Elliot. His kit is also simple like Shedletsky's, sporting only 2 straightforward abilities and 2 passive abilities. Firstly, his pizza throw ability, which makes Elliot toss a slice of pizza from his left hand. This pizza is highlighted green for every survivor and heals a flat 5 HP immediately and then an extra 20 over time. This regenerative healing can be cancelled by taking more than 10 damage from a single move. Second is Elliot's Rush Hour ability, which grants you a 30% speed boost for a short duration, providing a small burst of speed that can give you an edge in distance. It is replenished by giving an injured survivor your pizza. It is especially useful as Elliot has the lowest health value of any other character, having a mere 80 health. Elliot's first passive ability, Order Up, adds an additional 4 HP onto the regenerative healing your pizzas grant for every generator you contribute to. This ability stacks up to 5 times since there are only 5 generators, granting an overall maximum heal of 45. Elliot's second passive ability, Deliverer's Resolve, allows Elliot to see any survivor which has recently taken damage via a yellow highlight. Overall, Elliot is a strong support character whose weakness is his fragility, making him a usual first target for killers and the most valuable asset for survivors. The survivalist starter character is Noob. Their kit is simple, noticing a trend here, having 3 abilities on the table, all designed to protect themselves. Their first ability, Blocks and Cola, grants you a 10% speed boost for 10 seconds with a windup of 2.5 seconds in which you cannot sprint. This allows you to outrun any killer for a short amount of time. For their second ability, you drink a bottle of Slate Skin, giving you bonus health that lasts for 6 seconds. After it ends, you get a 20% speed boost for a short amount of time. But you can cancel the effect early to get a 10% speed boost instead, with the trade-off of catching the killer off guard. While you have this bonus health, your movement is heavily restricted. The shield, however, allows you to tank most attacks. For their third ability, you eat a ghost burger with a windup of 2.2 seconds, turning you 80% transparent and granting the undetectable effect for 10 seconds. Undetectable renders you unable to be highlighted by most abilities, while also preventing minions from targeting you. Overall, Noob's simple and easy to understand kit makes them good in the hands of essentially any player, new or experienced, with them being especially good as the last player standing with their stealth abilities.
Unlike survivors, you only start with a singular killer. Originally known as Jason Voorhees, but renamed to Slasher to avoid copyright, he's a melee-centric killer who specializes in sneaking up on survivors and then rushing them down. Your primary ability is also named Slash. It is commonly referred to as your M1, because on computer you have to click M1 or mouse 1, also known as left click, to use the ability. It is your main way of dealing damage to the survivors. It has a very short cooldown of 1.9 seconds, and deals 20 damage with an additional 8 damage in bleed over 5 seconds. Despite the low cooldown, it is important to not swing wildly. Instead, time your attacks to properly strike the survivors when they get close enough. If they are successfully dodging, change your timing to try and throw the rhythm off. Slasher is one of 2 killers in the game who can hit multiple targets with their M1, with the other being Guest 666. Behead is the name of your secondary ability. Its role is to support in chases by giving you easy damage while denying the survivor from using their abilities, or as a finisher. Behead has a cooldown of 18.5 seconds and deals 20 damage. When used, you will lunge forward slightly and swing in a wide arc. Even if this attack hits a survivor, you gain a 10% slowness debuff for 2 seconds. The important fact is that the attack also inflicts Helpless for 8 seconds to any survivors hit by it. Helpless prevents survivors from using any of their abilities for the duration. This allows you to easily pressure survivors for a few seconds with no danger of being stunned. The short lunge is what makes it effective for executing. Gashing Wound is one of Slasher's more signature abilities, with a cooldown of 32 seconds and a total damage of 50. It's your third ability and is often misused by new players who tend to mindlessly spam it. When activated, Slasher completely stops moving and enters a significant windup. This makes it extremely easy to dodge when used incorrectly. The most effective way to use it is to punish survivors who have missed their abilities, or to sneak up on survivors. Survivors on generators are more likely to be caught off guard by this. After striking a survivor, you both enter a short cutscene where Slasher chops up the victim and kicks them away. You are immune to attacks during this, and any survivors standing within the attack also take damage. Raging Pace, your fourth ability, is a bit more complex. After being used, you enter an enraged state for 14 seconds, being completely impervious to all attacks. During this, you are unable to sprint, but have your speed increased. Your stamina is also affected, being capped at 70. Alongside this, it marks the nearest survivor through walls and allows you to easily track them down. The most intricate part of Raging Pace is the way it modifies other abilities. If you use another ability during the enraged state, it will be altered and end Raging Pace early. To keep it short and sweet, all 3 abilities gain increased damage, along with Slash getting a lunge and Behead's lunge being longer. Cashing Wound only gets the damage increase, going up to a total of 75. Raging Pace is best used to locate survivors or regain distance in chase. Here's step-by-step gameplay of a typical killer match. Starting off, I quickly relocate to the other side of the map in order to find survivors to pursue. I hear a builder man constructing a turret, so I attempt to destroy it before it is functional, but I fail and am forced to wait a second to break it. The Shedletsky is on a generator, so I decide to punish him with a gashing wound. Getting early damage like this is a great way to set yourself up for a win. Since he is already low, I decide to continue chasing him. Unfortunately, I meet another turret and have to destroy it. I use a shortcut to get closer and catch him eating chicken. I successfully cancel the regen, but am met with a TAF bomb. While I am disoriented, the Elliot heals him. I give chase once more. My own overzealousness leads to the Shedletsky to successfully stun me. Since he's fairly healthy and he's able to run away, I swap targets in order to preserve my rhythm and to spread more damage out. Spreading damage is important when you have an Elliot, as he can only heal one person at a time. The aforementioned Elliot turns his back to me and gets on a generator. I use Gashing Wound once again. Even though Builderman can heal multiple survivors, it is much slower. Since Elliot is the priority target, I continue to chase him, even despite his use of Rush Hour. I hit many people with a singular attack, but Chance shoots me, stunning me for a few seconds. Eliminating the Elliot will help the rest of the round go smoother, so I ignore the dispenser and run straight to him. Taff is second on my list since he is able to set up traps, which other survivors can utilize. After killing Taff, I use Raging Pace to find my next target, and I locate the 007. As I look in his direction, I hear a coin flip behind me. That means there is a chance hiding in a dead end that I can easily go for. I do a whopping 60 damage in a single slash since he had weakness. He stuns me, but I don't give up on him. I don't fall for Shedletsky's trick a second time. After that, one of the builder men wastes some stamina in front of me. Similar to Taff, his turret can assist any other survivors by slowing me down. I decide it's his time and successfully land a gashing wound. Wanting to save my Raging Pace, I run until I meet the Shedletsky again. I use Raging Pace to keep him visible as he runs through the ball pit. My attention shifts to the Builder Man. Leaving him alive would allow him to set up another turret in an annoying location and potentially save the game for the survivors. I can't allow him to live. I decide that leaving the Shedletsky alive isn't that great of an idea, considering he's able to stun me. I miss a gashing wound, but he misses a slash, so I'm able to enter last man standing against the 007. Even though he has the ability to clone himself and turn invisible, I find him. He teleports away before I can get my hands on him, so I use Raging Pace since I know he will be on the other side of the map. I quickly run over to him and end the game.